Let's go. What? Here we go now. Batman scoop on the mic. Mix in the mix on the wheels of steel. This is what I was fucking born to do. Yes, let's go.
Yo. Yo. Hey, what's good? What's good? Thank you for the compliments on my shirt. I had a important call today.
From the top, let's go.
Savage Legends, Lordium. Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's poppin'? Atrioc got that pregnant woman glow today for real. Is it a compliment? What is that supposed to mean? Should I take that as a compliment? Should I be happier that I heard that or sadder? Nice TFT work earlier? Light work. Light work for a TFT god like me, dude. I swear to God, if I could stream TFT, I'd be fucking masters by now. But I have to fit it in between meetings talking to stands. You want to play Fall Guys? Is there something new? Is there anything new? Pause champ. What's up, Electrics? No Megalolden, no shot. Dude, I'm not playing old Fall Guys. Yeah. Bro, we gotta be pretty fucking content starved to go back to Fall Guys with nothing new. What's up? Oh my God, fucking Discord ping arrived. You think you're gonna play Jump King or send Lud the Grand? I mean, I've cultivated the wrong image. I would have to be so fucking fiscally irresponsible to just throw away $1,000 because I won't try Jump King. Come on. I don't know. No, I'm not that fucking stupid with my money. No, I would fucking play Jump King, obviously. Just probably not till the last minute. If I had won the Super Bowl bet, I'd do it. If I had won that $500 fucking Super Bowl bet, the fucking Rams didn't cover, then I would have sent in the grand and said, fuck you, I'm not playing your shit game. But unfortunately, I don't want to send him $1,500. Ugh. Now, luckily, I save a lot of money by not paying my editors. But that only goes so far. What's up? Not NVIDIA. That's what. Did you see the earnings report? It was fire. Just give it a little time. Big A, the Enron script is coming along well. Want to play a part in the movie? No. No. I'll watch, though. I'm very excited. I am extremely excited. Atrioc doesn't look too bad for his age. Wow. Thank you, I Eated Boogers. That means a lot, man. I really appreciate that. You know, they say words can hurt, but words can also heal. And what you did there was so massive. Thanks, man. That means so much. And it was asked for, too. It was an asked for compliment. Hey, Big A, want to let you know that I stopped hanging out with my mom so I can catch you live. How old are you? You probably shouldn't be hanging out with your mom that much anyway, you know? Cut the cord. The umbilical cord, not if she's hanging on to life. Hey, Big A, I found you on YouTube a week ago and I loved your content. This is the first stream I've caught. Oh, great. Welcome to the beginning of the process. All right. So this is your first message. It was a nice one. In about 2 days, you're going to be here saying, glizzy hands, glizzy hands, glizzy hands. And then you're going to try to get on the Reddit. You're probably not going to get featured in the Reddit. Then you're going to be back in my YouTube comments saying shit like, I don't know. Hood watches stands now. All right. Okay. Then, about a month in, you're going to have binged all the YouTube content. So all of it's going to be gone. And then you're going to be a full-on stream convert, except you're going to be extremely toxic. And that could last a while. It could be 6 to 8 months of you just being a full-on Twitch viewer, toxic as hell, yep cock, yep coke every time I leave the stream, full-on. All right. And then from there, maybe you try stands. Maybe you go to Connor. I don't, you know, there's a couple pipelines after that, but, I just want to get you ready. I want you to figure out, your next few months, plan them ahead of time. How is this so accurate? People are pretty predictable, I think. That's a nice shirt. Where'd you get it? I don't know. I've had it for a while. It's my nice but casual shirt for meetings where I want to look presentable, but not serious. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep the top button unbuttoned. A little bit of pro strat, okay? Don't say Walmart lol W. That's wrong on so many levels. First of all, it's not come from Walmart, so you're wrong on that level. But if it had come from Walmart and it was still a nice shirt, then you're just poor shaming is what you're doing. Okay? I bought a lot of my shirts when I didn't have a lot of money. Gap Kids. Gap Kids. What is it? Hi, chat. I took a day off. Thought it'd be nice to see you again. Hi. Hello. How are you guys doing? Hope you've all been well. How was the grind? Terrible. My God, dude. Terrible. Ari's not happy. I took one day off from stream last night to really grind all my strats. Oh my God, dude. This is going to be, I have to just knock this record out and then take this is, it turns out, you ever see that meme? I'll show you this meme. Where's the meme? Do you guys know the meme I'm talking about where the guy has like the 3 blocks and one of them's like sleep and one of them's work? And he's trying to fit something in. Fuck. If anyone finds me that meme, I'll fucking praise your name. Because it would help me. Anyway. So it's like it's like a puzzle where he's trying to fit these 3 blocks in. And there's this big block that says sleep. And there's this big block that says work. And this big block that says relationships or whatever. And there's a tiny little gap left. And then he's got this giant fucking chonker of a block that I think says video games or whatever. And he's trying to force it. I think, yeah, there it is. Let me see. Someone might have posted it. Yeah, it is an owl turd comic. Hey, big guy. Recently purchased an NVIDIA GPU. Are we friends now? We're more than friends. We're like blood brothers. This is it. This is literally the meme. Wow, you guys found it. Wow, the internet is magical. Let's see if this works. Oh, where's my camera? Yeah, that's it. Oh, I can't fit video games into my life. And then he looks at it and then he says, or can I? And he starts to pull the sleep block out. But for me, wait, I gotta bring chat up. Anyway, you guys get the fucking point. Anyway, and it's not just pulling the sleep block out though. It's like I'm pulling I smash the rest of the blocks down. It's like I pull all 3 blocks out and I stomp on them. And then I try to force video games and it's like bigger than all the rest. It's not a great system. And it only really becomes a problem when I'm trying to really grind something. So I I mean, I've dedicated myself to doing it, so I'm going to do it. It's just fucking, it's a challenge. You could play video games right now. Well, I could play any video game right now, but what I can't play is just grinding Hitman mindlessly. I already tried it a little bit, and it was bad stream content. I actually have to fucking do all my grinding fucking alone. Sad. Hey, Atrioc, they denied my partner application, so you can get the record back soon. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Is that why I'm doing this? Am I doing this so fucking Spectacore can get a fucking another 12 months of content? I need to make sure that I've got a reason. This needs to be a good video. I need to get a good video out of this. What are the questions? Hey, Cayman, thank you for the 11 months. Hey, Big A, hope you're having a great night so far. Keep up the good work. Keep up the work. All right, thanks, boss. This isn't supposed to be work, Cayman. Having a good time here. I'm just chatting. Keep up the good work. Yeah, man, I'm in the factory right now. Hey, Atrioc, just wanted you to know I bought Liquid Death. It's fucking fire. It's water in a can. You know that, right? I'm happy for you, and if you enjoy the brand, and it's water in a can. It's not. It can't be that cool. The viewers are your employers. Oh, that's a sad thought. Unlucky Level, thank you for the 8 months. Phone Bone, thank you for the 3 months. Hey, Big A, big fan of your work with Marketing Mondays. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the Yemen crisis? I got so many thoughts. I got so many thoughts, dude. Too many, even to list right now. So we'll have to do it later. Can't do it now, though. It's pretty cringe, not going to lie. I can't wait till we get a presidential candidate that gets asked that during a debate. What are your thoughts on Russia invading Ukraine? Pretty cringe. NGL. Everyone claps. What do you think about TSM support getting tossed into Academy? I don't know. Don't have enough knowledge. When I last played LCS, there was only one person that mattered. Double lift in Bjergsen. Russia small PP, honestly. Damn, bro, you could fucking own Putin in a debate. COVID is not POG. Oh, you're doing the fucking. There's an Iowa corn crisis? Would you unironically invest in the Facebook dip? No. I actually want to talk about Facebook again. I was thinking about talking about it today. I actually think Facebook is in real trouble. Real honest to God, like, oh, I know everyone's said that for a while because they've had bad PR. I think they're in bad business trouble. And I think they're about to hit the MySpace wall, and it could be, it happens quick in the world of social media. It's slowly and then quickly. Yeah, he did call. Their new slogan is like what? We're metamates, or what the fuck? They have a terrible slogan. Big trouble in little tech. Well, it's big tech. They're a top 5 company worldwide. And well, were. They were. Sorry. Now you're not even top 8, I think. Metaverse fell off for real, dude. And there was Metaverse was popular as a word for a month, and they changed their whole company for it. I unironically think MetaMates is a great name. Okay, Mark. You don't have to be on your alt, bro. It's all right. Hey, billionaires are welcome here. Literally, it's fine. Come on, bro. It's okay. Talk to me. You don't have to bust out the burners, bro. Let's do an interview. How much damage could that video on Reddit cause for Meta? What video? There's probably no one Reddit video that caused that much damage to a multi-billion-dollar company, to be honest with you. All the tech companies have cute names to avoid calling their workers workers. I don't know about that, but they did always. When I went to Twitch in 2013, 14, it was like peak Silicon Valley fucking excess hype. Startups getting insane, and all the job recs would have things like Rockstar, Guru. It's like we need a marketing rockstar. We need a code ninja. It was all like ways to make you, and it's like just give a fucking level, a title, and a fucking paycheck. Don't. They have sandwich artists at Subway. Well, that's actually a real one, okay? Because when I go to Subway, I ask them for art, and I send it back if it's not. I'm kind of a cool customer in that way. I always tell them, like, express yourself with the Parmesan. 6-inch meatball sub. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take the Mona Lisa, I'll have it on my phone, and I'll show them to the guy at Subway and be like, can you give me something like this? Just like, not exactly, but like as a reference. And then I let them run wild. But yeah, something like this, but with like ham. Like, can you capture her smile, but also like be sure to include extra tomato? Yeah, that's sort of what I do. It's a fun little way to. Everyone enjoys it. And then what's cool is like when they give me the sandwich, I'm like, no, this isn't it. And then I send it back and I do it again and again. I'll be there for hours sometimes, and we get this really fun rapport going. We're looking to hire a smoothie king. There's only one smoothie king. Paul on snack. I'm surprised the smoothie king lore has stuck around in the memes. That was like, I don't think we even made a video on that. Smoothie king has enduring brand appeal. I think I just mentioned it one time when we got a clip. People keep talking about it. Stans gave it a bump. Well, if we got the Stans bump, then you know. Oh, there was a video? Oh, that makes more sense. Okay, there was a video. Still, though, one Reddit video, and it comes up all the time. Interesting. I think it's that tweet. Brandon more like blended. I haven't matched that tweet yet. You asked. So I will be playing Jump King. Probably not today. Actually, not today at all. Today, I think what I'm going to do is talk about some stuff. I think I want to talk about Facebook, actually, because I don't think it's a full marketing Monday, but it could be interesting. We're going to pull up this cool thread I got, and we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to shoot the shit about what's going on in the fucking... Oh, thank you, Hudat, for the raid. And then Inscription probably to end the night. Probably fucking last hour and a half of stream, we do Inscription. That sounds pretty good to me. That sounds pretty fire to me. That sounds pretty dope to me. I also thought I might check LSF, see if there's anything fucking dope there. Just fucking let the stream vibes rock. Palmy, thank you for the gifted sub to Atrioc. Dave Braham Lincoln. I like that name. Thank you for the 2 months. Love Davis, of course. Thank you for the 17. PogChamp. When you finish Inscription, I'm quitting this website and YouTube forever. Is that like a threat? What? Do you want me or not money to finish it? I don't. I can't even tell what your end goal is. Atrioc, make some Atrioc coin rewards. I don't have anything to spend them on. Oh, you want me to make rewards for Atrioc coin? Wow, no one's ever asked before. Oh, well, hell yeah, for sure I'll do that. Yeah. Oh my. Wait, you guys wanted that? Oh my God. Here, I'll make one right now. It is 10 Atrioc to ban that guy that asked. Does anyone want to buy it? Does anyone want to buy it? Any takers? Okay, we got some takers. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Wow, a good reward right off the bat. I'll take 20. No, we don't do Atrioc rewards because people already cringe about it. Literally, people lose a bet and they fucking meltdown. They start shaking and crying in fucking Walmart. They're on their phone with their mom pushing the cart and they lose one fucking bet and it's a fucking complete absolute meltdown. And I scam regularly. So it's just not good to have any sort of value to them. And so when they have no value, at least I don't feel bad about it. I drop to my knees at Walmart when I don't win. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. I just said the word lose and then you made it don't win. You just made it longer. You changed nothing. So I countered my point. Changing the world's biggest economy could have insane implications. What do you... Dude, I think it's so funny. I like it. I appreciate it because it lets me jump off to different things. But chatters don't read the room at all, bro. They don't read the room at all. We could be talking about anything. About fucking pizza. And some guy will just come in and be like, bro. So my mom just died and I actually hated her, so it's not a big deal. But she wanted me to become a zookeeper and I don't want to become a zookeeper. And so now I'm in zookeeping school, but should I become a dentist? And it's like, bro, what the fuck? How is that related? You just jumped and I'm not the person to ask. Oh, they were talking about Atrioc. Oh, I'm actually dumb. You were saying that Atrioc is the world's biggest economy, and I was talking about inflation. I jumped ship. Because I actually do want to talk about inflation, though, is the thing. I actually do want to talk about inflation today, because inflation's kind of crazy bears. Actually, kind of crazy. Actually, do you mind if we jump topics? You guys mind if we start talking about the zookeeper thing? We'll get to it. In Canada, inflation is getting kind of big. Yikes. Yeah, it's happening a lot in a lot of countries. Should I do a marketing Monday? Should I do a whole fucking marketing Monday? I don't know. You know, I'm in kind of, you know what you do? You know, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's talk about it. I need Photoshop. I'm wearing a Marketing Monday-esque shirt. So it's just like Tharketing Thursday is what it is. Young Gravy will be happy. I want to talk about inflation real quick. I want to talk about sort of the situation we find ourselves in most of the countries that you guys live in, you know, based on my stats. So I'm talking about like UK, US, Canada, et cetera, okay? Because it's getting kind of crazy. Let's see if I can find a good chart here to kick these off. Now, okay, here's the thing. Here's the deal. And this is why it's probably good that we do this now. When you hear the words inflation, or you hear something like interest rates, or you hear something like that, it's very easy for your brain to be like, fuck this. You know, I think a lot of times these terms are designed and obfuscated in a way to make it hard to focus. And so I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. I just want to make it actually as simple as possible because I think this is really relevant to the world and what's going on and helping you guys understand. But I also understand that we need to open with a round of this. So let me just do one thing here real quick. Okay. Here, I'm just going to open this up. And everyone, let's just on 3. Let's just all say glizzy hands, yep coke. Let's just get all that fun stuff out of the way. You know, just to keep our interest going. All right. Glizzy hands, yep coke, Paper Mario, you know, old, you know, whatever. Just let it all out. Let it loose, dude. Get that juice part of your brain going. Let the meme part fly. Because I actually do want to talk about inflation here for a second. But I want to make sure that, you know, your brain is stimulated before we get into it. Loosey goosey yordles. Back to Paris. LSD story. Hairline. You know, the whole thing. Psychics young. Neg who. Dog shampoo. Hood watches stand. Yes, please. Let's go. Let it fly, dude. All right. AMD. Yes. What the dog doing? Punch loves that. Okay. All right. We good? Are we good? Do you mind? Okay. All right. No, not Fauci lied. We don't say Fauci lied the whole time. All right. Now, let's talk about inflation real quick. So, here's the deal. I want this. I want this chart. Okay, wow, that's such an ugly chart. But this is probably good. Okay, mobile viewer. Yeah, actually, give it time for the mobile viewers. Okay. Let me get a couple of these charts up, so I'm not doing this over. While you guys do that, just chill for a second. Okay. I need this chart. This is good. Inflation. I need this chart. I need a much longer version of this chart. Is that it? Give me a second. This will be worth it. Okay. This is pretty good. This is a pretty good version of the chart. I can use this. Okay. All right. Okay. This should be good. Bruh. Oh, my mom. Okay, wait. Actually, let me get water. Real quick. You guys do the zookeeper thing. And then I will explain what I'm talking about. Oh, you guys got a Yep Coke in there too. Easy clap. Actually, I'm gonna change my title. Or I'm actually going to change my title. Talking about. All right. So, do any of you guys know? You probably don't. Maybe you do. The investor, Charlie Munger. Has anyone heard of him? Yes, no, you don't know? All right, he's Warren Buffett's business partner. He's one of the best investors in history. He's probably about to die. He's pretty old. But he has one of the best track records in history. He dropped this incredibly dire interview yesterday. I want to show it to you.
mentioned inflation, Charlie.
This is him on the right. Okay.
And the stock market is down a bit this year, maybe because of inflation. Also, the tensions in Russia and Ukraine. Maybe we'll get to that in a second. But I want to ask you specifically about inflation. Are we looking at a prolonged decline in the markets because of inflation? Is inflation on the rise? And should we be concerned about it?
Well, let me take that in the reverse order. Inflation is a very serious subject. You can argue it's the way democracies die. When democracy dies in Latin America, inflation is a big part of it. So it's a huge danger once you've got a populace that learns it can vote itself money.
Listen to that phrase, though. Listen, there's a lot of knowledge in this guy. I know he's like a walking corpse. I get it. I completely understand. I understand no drip. I understand that. But let's pull out some of the things he's saying. Number one, this is how democracies die. Number two, once a population learns they can vote themselves money. Okay? That is key. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's finish off his thing, though.
If you overdo it too much, you ruin your civilization a lot. And so, of course, it's a big, long-range danger. If you look at the Roman Republic, and even after they went to an empire with an absolute ruler, they inflated the currency steadily for hundreds of years, and eventually the whole damn Roman Empire collapsed. So it's the biggest long-range danger we have, probably, apart from nuclear war.
And then this guy tries to get him to talk in lighter news. So the interviewer's like, wow, that's that's dark, the collapse of society. And so he goes,
Is it something investors need to be worried about, specifically when it comes to growth stocks right now?
this guy's, let's talk about fucking Zoom stock, dude. It's like, what are you talking about hundreds of years of collapse? I want to talk about if fucking, is Facebook going up, bro?
I think the safe assumption for an investor is that over the next 100 years, the currency is going to zero. That's my working hypothesis.
Wow.
Long pause and a wow. I love that Charlie Munger at age 98 is thinking in 100-year timelines. That's crazy. This guy's thinking 100-year investments. This guy fucking he wants to talk about anything else. He wants to talk about anything else than Charlie Munger telling him the world's going to collapse.
That'll be a different type of environment, won't it?
A very dangerous environment.
And what about the
Federal Hitler was the combination. What brought in Hitler was the combination of the Weimar.
He tries to change the subject, and Charlie brings up Hitler, bro. He's trying to put a smile on it. He's like, all right, well, we can also talk about what brought in Hitler. What brought in Hitler?
And what about the
brought in Hitler was the combination. What brought in Hitler was the combination of the Weimar inflation, where they utterly destroyed the savings of the middle class in Germany, followed by the Great Depression. It was a 1-2 punch. And Hitler came in, crazy demagogue, with 40% of the votes. This is true. And pretty soon we had a dictator hell-bent for world war. So the history is not pleasant. And Germany was a very advanced and civilized nation, the Germany that Hitler took over. I always say that the interesting thing about that was little Albert Einstein, a little Jewish boy, got his entire primary education with the insistence of the Catholic Church in Germany. Now that is a very civilized nation. So if you let your nation deteriorate too much, what you get is a Hitler. We proved it.
And then it cuts off. It just cuts the clip. But okay, look, maybe he's a little too doom and gloom, but I want to talk about what he said here real quick, which is basically that rampant inflation is one of the biggest causes of societal unrest because any savings that the middle class has accumulated becomes rapidly worthless. Okay? So, let's take a look at this chart right here. This chart right here that I pulled up is the amount of money in the money supply. This is the United States currency money supply. This is basically the amount of money that the government's printing. Now you'll notice, I mean, this is in billions of dollars. So they're already printing trillions of dollars here. And then right around the pandemic, it spiked at a level never before seen. And now it's at all-time colossal, crazy banana bears high. And this is through both Trump and Biden, both of whom did not even consider turning off the spigot of money. And let me back up a little bit. So when the housing crisis, 2007, when the great financial crisis happened, we were set for a pretty big depression. And what stopped it, or we still got a bit of a recession, but it could have been way worse. What stopped it was the government just printing a bunch of money, basically doing massive bailouts, flooding the market with free money. And it worked. The thing is, it worked. It prevented massive downsizing and collapse, a massive market crash, and was able to juice the economy. And unfortunate thing about that working is that we haven't stopped that strategy since. And so every successive administration has, and this is not just in America, this is in a lot of countries, continues to print money and buy basically bad debt from underwater companies to keep the market afloat. And, you know, this happens slowly over time, but since the pandemic, it's been absolutely insane. And so for the first year of it, it's like everything's on crack. Everything seems amazing. And that's why we got fucking NFTs to the moon, Dogecoin going crazy, housing prices skyrocketing, stock market at all-time highs every single week, buy the dip on everything, okay? But the hangover effects of that is that money starts to become less valuable per dollar. That's inflation. If you put too many dollars out there, each individual dollar is worth less, and suddenly what you could use to buy with $5, you can't get the same thing. Okay? And so we're starting to get the highest recorded inflation ever. It's happening like crazy. Now, the problem is, now I want to explain real quick the concept of interest rates. So let me see if I can make this really simple, because this is one of the big ways we have inflation. It's not just printing money; it's this pool of dollars. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Yeah, this is good. This is a big swimming pool of money. Okay. Can you see this? This is a massive. So I want to explain very simply, basically, when you hear interest rates, like the government sets interest rates, it's hard to figure out what that means or what's going on. It basically means, I wonder if I can even get a chart of this. Here, this is perfect. This is actually perfect. Can I pull this up? No, it won't show up. This is fine. Dude, give me a fucking... There we go. There we go. There. Okay. Interest rates are based. So imagine this is the Federal Reserve. It's just a big pile of infinite money. And the banks borrow from this and then loan the money out to you for things like buying a car, for things like buying a house, for things like starting a business. Basically, interest rates are the cost of borrowing money. That's it. And the government can set it by how much, by what they charge banks to borrow from them. Okay? So the government prints the money, they lend it to banks at a certain rate, and then they lend it out to you. And if you want to juice the economy a little bit, if things are rough, let's say we have a big housing crisis, what you can do is you can lower the interest rate. So this is what it used to be. And When interest rates are high, like if you have money sitting in a bank, you'll get a lot of money if you're just sitting there. But when they're low and borrowing money is easy, then everyone starts borrowing money to do things like start businesses and hire employees and build factories, and so it juices your economy. The problem is, when interest rates are low, you can't just stash your money in a bank and make money. You can't just have it sit there, which means you have to do riskier and riskier things to make a profit. So you can see over the past, 30 years, the government has been continually lowering interest rates to try and juice the economy. And then after 2008, they basically dropped them to zero. Money is essentially free to borrow for the past 10 years. And that has all sorts of weird knock-on effects. But the main one is that inflation is starting to get out of control. Borrowing is crazy. Everyone is using leverage to buy fucking stocks that are going up. They're buying houses. They're flipping houses. Everything's going up. Okay? And all this party goes on for a while until it doesn't. So right about now is when it's starting to get, because we did so much in the past year. Interest rates were zero. We printed a fuck ton of money, and the dollar started to be worth less and less. Okay? And so you're faced with two choices, and that's what the government is. To get inflation back under control, to stop money from being worth less every year, they have to raise interest rates. Basically, they have to make it more expensive to borrow money. That's the best tool they have to stop inflation. The problem is, the second you do that, the second that happens, the market starts to crash because everything is built on this mountain of free money and debt. And the second it becomes more expensive to borrow, companies start collapsing. Companies that were like basically shoddily run zombie companies start collapsing. They start hiring less. People get paid less. It's like this. Yeah, our entire economy is basically running on credit and debt. And so every single administration, this is Democrats and Republicans, this is Trump, Biden, everyone, knows that there's a problem, that inflation is starting to get worse and worse and worse. But they also know that if they are the ones to pull the plug on the party, their whole party loses. And because we're in an environment, and this is not just in the U.S., but it's especially bad in the U.S., where the parties are so bitterly divided that losing is not an option, that it's a complete loss, that it's basically hot potato. It's musical chairs. And so they've been passing this back and forth, and just every time they get in power, whether this is Trump or Obama or Biden, they print a bunch of money to make everybody happy and do things because they have to keep the party going. But then the bill just gets bigger for the next guy. And so, for example, I mean, Trump is a major part of what's happening right now. He printed an absolutely insane amount of money at the start of the pandemic. The PPP loans were terrible. They mostly went to businesses that didn't need them. It was just free money to businesses that didn't need them or corrupt parties. And it's billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars. And then Biden, instead of like immediately stopping it, did the same thing. So the second someone stops printing money, they turn off the spigot. They stop buying the bad debt. They stop printing money. They start raising interest rates. We're going to have a recession. There's like no way around it. There's going to be a recession, if not a depression. It's due. And the unfortunate thing for Biden specifically is that it looks like it's finally happening. It looks like the chickens are coming to roost. It looks like we can't really kick the can too much farther. And so he's sort of getting hit with this no-lose situation, which is where inflation is now so bad that everyone notices. Everyone right now is realizing that the cost of gas is getting crazy, that energy, rent, housing, it's all rising unsustainably fast year over year. Savings are worth less and less. Everyone's starting to realize it. When it's 2%, 3%, 4%, you can sort of ignore it. And that's why last year everyone was saying, oh, it's transitory. Which is the code word, which is like, it's gonna go back to normal. Don't worry, it's temporary. They kept saying that, but it's not. It's not temporary, and it's actually getting worse. And so they're in this real catch-22 where the hot potatoes landed here, and they can either raise interest rates, collapse the economy, destroy people's pensions, make real estate worth way less, which is like all the boomers that vote. All the boomers that vote basically have all the stocks, all the 401ks, all the housing. And so if you tank it, you will lose the election. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Whoever actually solves this hot potato is going to destroy their party for the election. Or you can print a bunch more money to band-aid it and keep inflation hot and kick it down the road. But the problem is that won't work either, because everyone's so mad about inflation that it looks like the Democrats are about to get absolutely swept in the midterms. The election is this year for the midterms. It looks like the Democrats are going to get owned because everyone's mad about inflation. So, so we are in a situation where the party in power, and this is for Canada, this is for America, as a sort of a lose-lose, and they don't know what to do. And so what they're trying to do is talk a big game about how hard they're going to be on inflation while actually not doing very much about it at all. Because if they actually do anything, it's a collapse. And so that's what you're seeing. And you're seeing a lot of weird things. Like, for example, this war in the Ukraine, there was a very funny quote from Biden where he's like, yeah, I mean, with all the hostility out of Russia, we might have to all be strong and deal with some higher prices for goods. As if like the fucking talks in Russia have anything to do with the rising costs. He is trying to find a way to tie inflation to this fucking Russia situation so we can all get behind it. And I don't blame him. There is no winning. There is no fucking out. They are desperately trying to find a way to where they can solve this because they can't tank everybody's fucking house and stocks and pensions or it's over. So they're trying to do that. They're trying to figure that out. And on the other side of it, if you look at even more zoomed out crazy lens, this is the U.S. national debt. Okay? It's $30 trillion, growing all the time. The payments on this debt are now one of the biggest parts of the yearly government budget. Okay, just paying the interest on this debt. Now, the U.S. is in a unique situation. All this isn't necessarily a terrible thing, but when a large portion of your spending every month just goes to interest payments, that becomes terrible. And one of the best ways to make this debt not a problem is to inflate the currency so much that it's not worth as much. Okay? So if you owe, for example, if you owe $30 in 1970, that can buy you a stereo and a fucking ham and a gallon of gas. But if you owe $30 right now, that's nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? That's a lot less money. So if you inflate the currency enough, your debt is worth less. The actual what it's actually amount is worth less. And so we're running into a situation where the only way the U.S. can reasonably afford all of the debts that it owes, not just on the national debt, but on, for example, pension funds, Social Security, etc., is to make the amount they owe worth less, make it just inflate it away. And so, we have, if we stop inflation, we can't afford the debt and we'll crash our economy. But if we keep inflating, we get fucking civil unrest. We get riots. So it's kind of a no-win that's all starting to hit right now. I'm trying to answer questions. You're going really fast. All the incentives are fucked up. Yeah, the problem with having free money for so long is that it just fucks up all the incentives to do smart things with your money, to do good business, to be financially sound. To not take on crazy debt, to not drastically overpay for a house. But the problem is free money's been available for everybody. So everybody's been doing crazy things with their money. And there's kind of no way to unwind it without everybody losing money and the economy collapsing. Do you think this will increase the value of my Shiba coin? Yes. So that's the whole point. Everything I'm saying today is all to say that Shiba coin is the greatest investment. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. This whole discussion all goes back to Shiba coin, which is what I was trying to say. What should you do with their money? I don't have a great answer for you. I don't know. What I will say is that, like, what happens to stocks is going to depend a lot less on how good that individual stock is and a lot more on how the broader market is doing. So it doesn't, like whether one tech company is better than another is not going to matter as much as whether or not the government raises interest rates. That's going to cause everything to go down or everything to go up if they don't. And it's not going to matter. Like, it's not a stock picker environment, I think. It's more like, isn't inflation bad for streamers because the sub cost isn't? Yeah, I mean, yes, technically, yes, absolutely. But it also means more people can afford $5. If $5 becomes worth less because of inflation, then there's probably more people that'll buy a sub because it doesn't even buy you the same amount of things anymore. How does this affect US's influence over other countries? Well, we're in a bad spot with that in general right now. We just we're such a divided country that our ability to project one voice to different countries is almost entirely eroded. We have no consistent message, and so we can't unite any allies around anything. But I think we have bigger problems to worry about than that. I feel like the perception of $5 will lag behind the value. Well, it already has. So, like, this stuff's been happening sort of behind the scenes for now, and now it's just getting really hot. Now the inflation is getting really, really out of control. You know, if we're talking like 7% a year or something, then it's starting to get really crazy, and it snowballs. You know, if you don't do something to stop it, then it starts to get out of control. People start to expect future inflation, so they demand more prices up front, which means prices rise on everything, and then it goes out of them. Can we print more money? So we already are. I mean, look right here. This clock is going up. We already are printing an insane amount of money just to keep this fucking ship going. But we'd have to print some kind of absurd amount on top of this, and that would only further cause the problem. That would only make inflation even hotter. There's kind of nothing you can do about it once it gets to this point without... aren't we all fucked, though, because wages aren't keeping with inflation? They should soon. I mean... when inflation is like 2-3%, then wages don't keep up because workers don't demand increases for that. But once it gets to this level, people are going to just demand. I mean, people just won't work if it doesn't rise. Just saw an ad for a $300K house with mold everywhere. Oh yeah, I mean, housing is at all-time highs. Even though the real economy is kind of suffering, people are somehow buying all-time high houses, and it's because it's so cheap to borrow. Anyone can get a massive loan for very cheap with very low payments. If interest rates are like 2% or lower, then your monthly payment on a massive mortgage is nothing. It's very little. If they're higher, then your payment starts to get bigger and you can't afford that house. And then you're not bidding for a house, and then the prices don't go up. Who designed this dumb fuck system? Well, we all did. So Charlie Munger said in his talk at the beginning that once democracies figure out that they can vote themselves more money, you start to get a real problem. And basically that's what's been happening, is that we have democracies controlled by mostly corporations that influence with money, and they just buy the votes to buy themselves more money and bailouts whenever they have any problems. And so it creates a real, twisted system. Um, Everyone says Social Security will end. Well, here's the thing. So Social Security, I think I have a good graphic for this. Let me see if I have it for you. Well, here's this. You know, this is a classic fucking voter here. Good morning to everyone except Joe Biden. And he's mad because his gas is expensive. Because Joe Biden personally set the price of gas. But what it means is, but this is the actual sort of way, and Republicans are using this as their main talking point. I mean, gas prices has been like their rallying cry for the past 8 months. And the implosion of inflation is just causing a free win for whoever's not in power. And I think it's going to be very, very hard for them to avoid this because people can talk back and forth all day about social issues, but they get angry when their paycheck doesn't go far enough. They get angry. That's when it starts to get mad. And so, but yeah, by the way, that's not even that expensive. It's like $5 here. And so it's already looking like the Democrats are going to get absolutely rolled in the midterms. And then you're set up for a pretty tough election, like a presidential election. And just because the hot potato happened to hit now, you know, it's really, it's really been a problem of both parties and the system in general, where everyone's too afraid to lose, and the sides are so bitter against each other that no one can do the hard choice. Nobody that gets into power can possibly make the hard choice, or they give complete power to their opponent. Is this the start of the fall of the U.S. being the most dominant major country? That's already pretty much in motion with the rise of China. That being said, uniquely right now, China has its own debt issues. And they are doing exactly what we did in 2008. China's having a massive real estate debt bubble that is beginning to unwind. And then they said publicly, we're not going to do bailouts. We're not going to do what's called quantitative easing, which is basically free money. Basically like lowering interest rates, pumping the economy with real money. They're not going to do it. And then when you look at the numbers, that is exactly what they're doing. So China, right at the moment as we are like coming out of the hangover of this and trying to figure out what the fuck we're going to do as it threatens to collapse our economy, China is beginning the process. They are like trying heroin for the first time. And so, but what that means is they're going to have some amazing few years. If they do it right, I mean, if they start printing money, they're going to have the boom years that we just got high on. And right as we enter a time when our currency is devaluing and we're having major social unrest. So it's going to be, you know, it looks like it's set up for a very positive years for China. How does this affect you and me directly? It's tough to say. All I can say is people are going to tell you that this is one person or one party's fault if you leave the United States. And just know that's entirely horseshit. That this is like a fucking multi-decade problem of kicking the can down the road that has gotten absurd. It's gotten out of control. That's like one of the, what does it mean for us romantically? Basically stop voting for money. Well, secondly, I mean, look, the positive is if you are, you know, I'm trying to find the exact positive. Look, if you're young and broke, you're already locked out of all of the massive free money gains that have been made to boomers. Their 401ks are surging. Stock market's at all-time highs. Their real estate is surging. Real estate's at all-time highs. An economic correction that gets all of this back down to more reasonable levels is long-term a good thing, because that means you can buy in and participate in the economy in your earning years and have it grow over time. There is a benefit to that. The problem is it usually only comes with a recession, which is terrible to graduate and work into, and leads to lower wages. So it's not like it's like a great solution, but that would be the upside, is that like this has to happen, I think. But my worry is that they won't let it happen. I think Biden, I think one of the coolest things Biden could do is just pull the trigger and not run. Take all the blame. Like literally take all the fucking blame. He should be like, you know what? I do want your gas to be fucking high. And I think he should just fucking raise interest rates like crazy, take all the blame and not run. And hopefully they can get a better candidate. And, yeah, pull the luge. I think that'd be cool as fuck, but I don't think they will. And I think they're going to try as much as they can to not solve this problem, because it is their only hope of not tanking all the voters' values. What does this mean for me as a Canadian? So it's happening similarly in Canada. I mean, Canada's inflation is also very high. Your real estate is absolutely unaffordable, if not more so. Trying to buy a house in Canada right now is fucking crazy. It's from average middle class family is absolutely crazy. And this is a nearly global phenomenon, all right, with inflation. And so, yeah, but all of this is really good for people that already owned assets. Basically old people, boomers. Because boomers vote and have all the power, they have sort of, I mean, the system has been rigged to artificially prop up everything they hold so they don't get angry. And it's got to end sometime. Solving is really difficult. We're already raising rates. Well, we should be raising rates. Just to be clear, the government is talking very tough about raising rates. You guys don't probably check this out, but they have these Federal Reserve meetings and they release the minutes, and the minutes are the record of everything that was said. And they always announce in their press conferences that we are very deadly serious about raising rates. We're going to raise interest rates. The free money is off. And then they don't. And then they say, we're going to do it. We're going to do it 5 times this year. We're going to raise it a bunch. And then they don't. And they will have to. They're definitely going to do it. But they're being very slow. They're dragging their feet. And they need to be much quicker and much bigger. They're talking about very small increases. A very small number of times. And they need to do it a lot to make any impact, to cool down inflation. But they don't want to, because every time they even think about it, if you guys have been wondering why all of a sudden it seems like the fucking good times have ended in the stock market, if you guys are wondering which, like, out of the blue, it seems like recently, like, Bitcoin's not doing as well. Growth tech stocks aren't doing as well. There's a lot more red days lately. You know, it's not collapsed, but everything's kind of like just shaky. It's not like a fucking pure green time. It's because they're talking about it. It's because the government's been saying, hey, this has got to end. We're doing something. and that's why. That's the entire reason. It's because the high flying multiples that have been assigned to all these stocks, because everyone thought the free money would never end, are now shaken up, and Wall Street's nervous about it. And so, yeah, that's me sort of covering. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, but it's kind of a complex situation. I'm trying to Dow down 600 points. Yeah, it's all happening because things are shaky now. Inflation's getting crazy. Something's got to be done, and what if I try to jump ship before the collapse and swap my money to a different currency? It's not really like the currency is the main. I mean, yeah, the currency is getting inflated, but It's more like, I mean, if you're holding your money in cash, it's already the problem. If you hold your money in something else, the value of it should go up as inflation goes up. So that's not the big issue. It's more like to stop inflation, they're gonna have to tank asset prices, which is like stocks will go down, house prices will go down. People G, buy more apes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So in summation, the best place for your money is NFTs. I'm young enough that I hope the market corrects so that I can, yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, the younger you are, I think millennials and Gen Z in general would benefit, even though not in the short term, they would benefit from a correction. Probably not me, because I got mine. I have a bunch of stock. I have money now, so it would probably hurt me. But in general, millennials and Zoomers would benefit from a correction so they can actually buy in and participate. And then, you know, we can get some more authentic growth. But that also means paradoxically why it's probably less likely to happen, because Zoomers don't vote. Millennials vote more than we used to, but still not as much as Gen X and Boomers who vote like crazy and are very active politically. And so, they are the ones that are keeping this all propped, and like there's no way to like hurt them without losing everything for your party. Do you think the toxic political game is played? I mean, yeah, the polarization doesn't help, because in a world where both parties were like on the same side, like they had different opinions on certain social issues or whatever, but they were the same side. Like, we're both Americans. Let's make this country work. Then it would be reasonable to be like, hey, look, bipartisan, we have to come together and pull the trigger on this. We have to find a way to fix this. We have to stop inflation. But instead, like, whatever party's in power will get 100% of the blame from the other side, and no benefit. The only benefit will go to the next guys, you know, who get to pick up the mess, who get to see the growth afterwards. So, will The Rock get drafted if we go to war? I don't think there's any chance of it. I think all the going to war talk is mostly posturing. I think there's very little chance of an actual war. Very, very little. I think we're looking for something to distract and unite people so that we can place the blame for some of the economic problems to come. I think we're due for some rocky economic waters, and we got to figure out a way to have a narrative around that. Yeah, Biden wants a common enemy really bad, and that's just what he has to do. Listen, if he is trying to survive politically, he has to figure out some way to explain that everything's going to be more expensive every year or the economy's going to crash. Those are, by the way, the only two options. I think if there's one thing you take away, it's that one of those two things will happen. We are going to get rapidly raising prices, inflation, or we are going to get an economic recession, maybe even a depression. Those are the only ways out. And so we have to figure out, there have to be a solution to that. When would that happen? It depends on how long they want to kick the can on the road. But inflation's happening right now. Literally right now, prices are going up on everything consistently, month over month. Gas is more expensive every month. Housing is more expensive every month. What does the depression look like? So when a depression happens, a full-on depression would be like contracted economic activity for a certain number of quarters. But what it means is that, let's say interest rates rise and it becomes more expensive to borrow money. All right, well then if you're not able to borrow money, then you can't, like, let's say you owe debt. A lot of companies right now owe money and are borrowing money or raising money to pay that debt so they can keep going. They're essentially zombie companies. They don't make enough money to pay off their debt, but because it's so easy to borrow, they can keep going. That's a lot of the economy. And once that no longer works, they're going to start collapsing, which means they can't hire as many employees. Employees will start to get fired. And then there's a contraction in the amount of jobs. and then people aren't buying as much because there's less fewer people with jobs. You know, that it's a snowball effect. When there's less jobs, less people have money, and they don't buy anything, so companies have to lay off more people. It's this cycle where, you know, there's less employees, less money, less buying, less employees, less money, less buying. Do you think eliminating student debt will help at all? Yeah, I think eliminating student debt was a solid idea. I don't think it's a major game changer at this point, but there is a lot of millennials, especially trapped in student debt. They can't stimulate the economy because they're stuck servicing debt. It would help. Yeah, I think it would probably pay for itself, to be quite honest. But at the end of the day, that's still just more printing money, and that's like inflation is already making your debt less expensive. If inflation keeps running hot, your student debt won't even be worth that much. But in general, the stimuluses that I think work the best are the ones where money is given directly to people that are likely to spend it. And the stimuluses that work the worst are where money is given to people that will hoard it or save it or park it in assets. And so, unfortunately, we do the exact opposite. Yeah, velocity of money. Basically, if you give someone $1,000 direct check and they spend it on buying, car payments, food, groceries, they spend it all on real things, that's amazing. Then you've spent your money wisely. You've given them money that directly goes into the economy. If you give it to, let's say, the PPP loans that Trump gave out that went primarily to business owners that didn't need it, they just hoarded the money and still fired employees. The PPP loans were meant to save jobs. They cost about $250,000 per job saved. So they were giving business owners $250K to save a job that cost like $30K a year. Do you know what I'm saying? There was no connection. And so a lot of these dollars basically just went to people that hoarded them. And that's one of the worst type of stimuluses. They should have just paid off my loans. Yeah, that would have been a better use of time. Major cuts to corporate and military spending and tax hikes on the rich. How do you get that through politically? How do you make that happen? The problem is we need to make some hard choices, and no party has the power to do it. No party, neither side, has the ability to make these tough choices because the people will be too mad. Ugh. So we need a strong man to make the tough choices for us. Yeah. So that's sort of what Charlie Munger was saying, to bring it all back to the beginning, is that it's in times like these when there is economic unrest and inflation that could get out of control, people become very, very angry, angrier than anything. Like, social disagreements don't cause as much anger historically as people feeling like their livelihoods at stake, their money's at stake. When you fuck with the bag, that's when people get really fucking angry. And that's when you start to see the rise of strongmen who sort of take power in these moments of unrest. And so that's another thing just to keep an eye out for. If I'm trying to give Hitler came out of hyperinflation. That's what we said at the beginning. Yeah. Hitler rose to power during a period of massive inflation in the Weimar Republic, which was old Germany. And people were very angry about it. So how are you going to fix it? I was thinking, if you all gave me your Twitch Prime, I could sort of stimulate the economy by finally paying Quack which I think would help. You know, sort of. Yeah, I could. Oh, what's this? This is a nice hyperinflation graph. Yeah, this is a interesting graph. Blue line is inflation. Orange line is interest rates, basically the cost of borrowing money. And they've been pretty closely tied. And now we have record low rates and record high inflation, which is really bad because that shows you don't have a lot of room to work with. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I think crypto's the future. I just generally, I disagree. I'm not a, I don't know. I like that there's hope in it. I don't think the technology is what's going to save it. And in fact, the people have been promising that Bitcoin will be a hedge against inflation. That if there's massive inflation, well, then I'm glad to be in Bitcoin. Like almost like a digital gold. But what's happened has been the opposite. It's when people can't borrow free money to invest in Bitcoin, it starts to collapse. And it's been very tied to like the same thing. Like if growth stocks go down, Bitcoin's been going down. It seems very tied to the stock market. And so it has not been a hedge against the economy going down. It's been 100% 1-to-1. Zoomers are the clutch or kick generation. Yeah, bro. It's all on you guys. I love that. That's actually a good idea. How about us millennials, anyone in chat? Let's just do what the boomers did and kick the can. I think there's time. We might barely make it. I think millennials, the clock is running out. We might barely make it, and we can punt it to them, and then they can clutch or kick. Because I thought, there's a lot of problems, like, global warming, the environment, the economy, interest rates, polarization. All that stuff seems really hard to fix. So if we just punt it to Zoomers, this is actually sounding really good. This is actually sounding really good. I think if we let President Jake Paul fix it, if you punt it to us, you're fucked, smiley face. Yeah, that's true. The problem is we won't be dead. We'll just be old. And there's nothing worse than being old and dead broke in a fucking dying economy. When you're old, you want to be like boomers now. Boomers now have had the greatest fucking run of being old of all time. Boomers bought into a housing market that was fucking cheap and roaring. They bought into stocks that were low. And then their entire lives, everything they've owned has been going up in value. And so when they retired, they have fucking 3 homes. They have an amazingly healthy 401k. And they're just chilling while the economy collapses around them. Boomers figured it out. We aren't going to have that. My parents unironically tell me to buy a house. Listen, there's no way of knowing exactly what's going to happen with housing prices because supply is also very low. But because they're at all-time highs right now, it feels like it would be a interesting time to buy in. It feels like it would be a dangerous time to buy in. Can you explain what a 401k is briefly? Yeah, it's just a 401k is a retirement plan where every month you'll put in a little bit of your paycheck into a 401k, which buys a little bit of every stock in the market, basically. This is a simple way of doing it, but that's basically what it is. A 401k is basically like you're just putting your money into a little bit of everything in the economy, and if the economy goes up, your 401k goes up. The goal is to get $401,000. Yeah, you buy $401,000 of stock over the course of your working career, and then it grows with time, and then you have a nice chunk of change when you retire. Atrioc, you're super knowledgeable on this stuff. How do you know about all this? What I do is I go to LSF and read all the comments. It's the smartest place on earth. If you want to get knowledgeable about something, just go to YouTube comments, go to LSF comments. I don't read books. I don't watch documentaries. What I do is I read internet comments. That's where you get the best knowledge, okay? And if you'd like to become more knowledgeable, I recommend digging deep. Twitch chat, yeah, Wall Street bets. Honestly, there's been some good Wall Street bets threads. The Wall Street bets has gotten so much worse since it got popular. Wall Street bets back in the day had, a bunch of that stupid stuff they have, which is just funny. And then they'd have some really serious, interesting threads. And then it got popular. Now it's everyone like either joking about losing money, actually losing money, or desperately begging for real advice. There's too many people that are like, please, is fucking Shopify going to go up tomorrow? Should I buy the dip? Please convince me. It's become very sad. It's more people just trying to get like moral support for their bad investment decisions. On God, it was always like that. I mean, it was always 90% that, but you could find the 10% out. So if interest rates go up, people can't get loans. Yes, exactly. You're getting it. Oh my God, I was worried that not one person got it. Yes, you got it. Yes. As interest rates go up, people can no longer take out massive mortgages. They can't afford it. So they can't bid on housing prices to make them go up and up and up. And so the housing prices will go down. Rising interest rates means that the amount it costs to borrow, your monthly payment is going to go up. And so people will not be able to afford as much house. Right now, the reason the houses are so expensive is that everyone can take out massive, massive loans. And so that they can outbid you on a house. And then I'll take out a bigger loan and outbid you on that. Why would I need a loan? I don't want a house or a business. You don't need it then. But everyone else is taking them out. People are taking out loans to buy crypto. People are taking out loans to buy stock. People are taking out loans to buy housing. People are taking out loans to make their business bigger. And all of this stuff is based on money being very cheap. And the second the money is not cheap to borrow, it's going to collapse, cascade through all of it. Businesses run loans to operate? Yes, absolutely. Should wages keep pace with inflation? They should. They don't always. When inflation's like 2%, 3%, basically businesses kind of slyly just don't raise wages because workers don't demand it. Whenever you're making, let's say you make $50,000 a year, if that's worth 2% less next year, they just keep paying $50,000 and you're not going to notice it. You're going to feel it a little bit. You're going to be like, wow, this milk's a little more expensive. This gas is a little more expensive, but you're not going to really feel it because 2% is not a lot. So they won't raise it. But when it starts getting to 7, 8%, you notice it, you get angry. You start making career choices based on your job choices based on that, and they're going to have to raise wages. I think wages are going to have to get, and they already are raising. We're already seeing voluntary going to $15 minimum wage, etc., from companies, even though it's not federally required. And the reason people aren't working for minimum wage in a lot of places because it's literally unlivable. Minimum wage should be way higher. It absolutely should. Minimum wage should be way, way higher. It's happening. You know that minimum wage has to be higher because companies are voluntarily going above it. That's how bad it is. Companies never voluntarily do shit. So that means they have to pay higher than minimum wage because people won't work for less. $15 is already the minimum. $15 is basically unlivable minimum wage in a lot of places, but that they're doing that just because they have to even get employees. As a 19-year-old, this is terrifying. Should we be scared? Look, it's not rosy. I wish it was like a really positive thing I could tell you that it's all going to work out. What I can tell you is as 19 years old, you are young enough that if a correction happens, I mean, listen, people that were 19 in like the Great Depression, me, for example, 1930, I was 19. They had rough years, but then they were part of one of the greatest growth stories in any country's history ever. Once things corrected and they started to build real businesses and they started to grow, they were able to participate in a very large growth. So what I'm trying to say is, if it did happen, it wouldn't be terrible. What would be terrible is if we keep finding a way to fucking stretch out the pain. But what if we don't grow again? Well, I tend to bet on the American economy being resilient. And in general, I think most things, I mean, the economy in general grows over time. That's always been true. So it should remain true if you take a long enough time horizon. But the pain years in the middle are where like, what I'm worried most about is not that like we won't eventually start growing again. It's that the pain of the collapse, because this bubble's been inflating for so long, is gonna be really bad social unrest. That's what makes me worried. And I know I usually talk about just jokes in this stream, so I'm sorry. But today I wanted to bring this up because I've been thinking about it for a while. My biggest worry is that we're going to have a lot of social unrest. Basically, a lot of angry people, a lot of politicians that are being strongmen and making insane promises. That's what I'm worried about is that. And I think that's going to manifest itself in a lot of interesting and negative ways. And we already have such a divided country. How does this affect jobs that require on consumer spending like your job? Well, it's interesting because so in times of economic turmoil, entertainment actually does amazing. Like if there was a depression or if there was a recession or things that were like escapism goes fucking nutty. Probably like Twitch streaming is going to be even better. In economic downturn, fucking Twitch streaming is probably fucking fire still. And selling video game cards is probably great. I mean, it's like entertainment does well no matter. It's very resilient in downturns because people want escapism. Similar happened with COVID, yeah. So I'm not personally worried about the things I get my money from. I am a little worried about, I mean, listen, to be quite clear, if interest rates rise, all high-tech growth stocks, NVIDIA included, will be hammered. Hammered. Because right now they are valued like 20, 30, 40 times what they're actually making as a company. They're valued way more than their actual revenue and sales because of growth. Tesla is a great example. And it's all because money is so cheap to borrow. The idea is that you can borrow, invest in this company. It's going to grow. It's worth paying a premium. It's worth paying over what it's actually valued because we're gonna have a great rosy future and it's gonna keep growing. But if interest rates start to rise, that changes, and the ratios start to become less sustainable. Tesla raised our car prices. Yeah, I mean that's a sign of a good brand though. Again, Tesla is a great brand. I have shit on Tesla stock because it's so stupidly high, but it's a great company. Their cars are generally well reviewed. People like them. They have a good brand. They have good word of mouth scores. If you think I just fucking hate Tesla cars, no. Connor Eats Pants drove me around in a Tesla, and I fucking had a great time. I think the car is dope. I think the company is overvalued. It's a difference. How long would it take to rebuild the market if it collapses? There's no way to know. I would be lying if I told you I'm an expert on what that would be. America should just do a subathon. Yes! Yes, dude! The America Subathon! To solve our problems! Oh my God, you actually solved it. Bro, people say Twitch doesn't have solutions. This guy's got solutions. Zoomers are going to solve this fucking problem. We're just begging Canada for money. We've sort of, I mean, with the debt we've been taking on, we've sort of been doing a little mini subathon. We've been borrowing money from countries like China. UK with the 20 gifted subs. Japan with the 40 gifted. Thank you. Oh, that's fucking fire, dude. Does China have Twitch? No. China does not have Twitch. China has a very, good for them, but whack system where you just simply cannot be a foreign-owned business and succeed in China. They won't allow it. Even Disney. Like, Disney movies are popular in China, and Disney has a park in China, but Disney doesn't technically even own that park. What happened was Disney created a separate company called Disney Shanghai that is Chinese owned and lives in China that Disney owns like 49% of. And you have to, they will just not allow foreign-owned companies to be successful in China. Apple is one. There's a few that have enough scale and have built these deep relationships, but in general, you can't go in. Like Twitch tried to go to China, doesn't happen. China basically wants every tech industry to have a national champion, like their own Chinese company. So like Google can't be in China, Facebook, Amazon, all of those. There's Chinese counterparts. How does Apple do it? First of all, they planned way long ahead. They have Tim Cook, the greatest supply chain guy in history, and they provide a lot of jobs in China. And even still, there's problems. Yeah, it's Apple manufacturing jobs, correct? Yeah. Russia with the raid. But Russia, I think, is way overstated. I think people talking about Russia as a big problem is in my mind a huge distraction. And I think people talk about Russia too much in general. I think people give Russia too much attention. Russia is like a fucking declining economy, bro. A declining economy run entirely by oligarchs, fading actual power. They're not our major villain. They're not our major threat. It's a bunch of saber rattling. Putin has to do it to be able to maintain face and stay power. Russia's not the problem, and people talk about it. They're like used as a scapegoat in a discussion way too much. Listen, it's just not. Russia fell off, dude. For real. I miss the old Russia. In the same vein as polling, why wouldn't we have major polling for issues like these? Can you imagine trying to accurately explain and understand this to 300 million Americans getting to vote on this? That's insane. That's an insane thing to do. No one's the whole point of the system as it's supposed to be is that people barely pay attention enough to pick who they're going to vote for as people, but they vote for someone who can learn the issues and then make a smart choice. We don't necessarily have that currently, but that's the whole idea of representative democracy is that you vote for someone who's going to take the time to learn all this shit and make a smart choice. The problem is making the smart choice makes everyone angry. And so nobody wants to do it. Biden versus Trudeau, bro versus bro. I don't know how United States and it's one of its closest allies playing battleship with each other would solve the problem, but I like the content. It would be great content. They could monetize it and make some money back. Oh, Kevin Mason, I'm sorry. You sent me some stuff. I didn't want to pull up too many more charts, but I'll take a look. What did you send me? Oh, look. These are actually great. Wait, take a look. This is the United States inflation over the past 30 years. All-time highs, nearing 7-8% a year. This is Canada's inflation, 7%, same. This is UK's inflation, 7%, same. This is happening in all those are the three biggest countries that watch me. But it's happening in a lot of major countries because every government has been doing the same thing, which is printing money to stave off recession to stay in power. U.S. inflation is way higher than 8%. It actually is. You're actually a really smart thing to say. It is by many measures higher, but this is the official report. And then the official report that uses the basket of goods that they buy. They measure inflation by buying a basket of goods. So they buy like bread, a magazine, rent at a house, a gallon of gas, whatever. They buy like 14 goods and they buy the exact same things 1 month later, 1 month later, 1 month later. And if they cost more, then inflation is going up. The dollar is worth less. That's the idea. If you're getting the same amount of stuff, but it costs more money, then each dollar is worth less. That's how they measure it. But the problem is that CPI, this basket that we're talking about, is very carefully selected of certain goods that don't rise as much with inflation to make inflation seem lower. This basket is very artificially selected. They don't pick things like real estate. They don't pick things like, I think cars. They don't pick like healthcare costs. There's things that are rising very, very fast that aren't included. And in fact, real inflation might be even, it definitely is higher than 8%. Selection bias? Yeah, for sure. What if the bread hits different that month? What do you mean? Are they tasting the bread every month and seeing if it hits different? Is that what you're asking me? I don't know. I'm not aware. There's limits to my knowledge on this. I'm not sure what they do if the bread hits different. That's a great question. That's a very insightful question. How Argentina can live with 50% inflation? It doesn't really. Once you get to 50% inflation, your currency is absolutely worthless and people won't trust it anymore. And people will just do deals in different currencies. Your government loses all ability to like control monetary policy of your country. And people become very angry, try to vote them out or get them out in any situation. Any country with higher than 50% inflation is in absolute unrest. There's none that are like doing fine. Speaking of cars, I bought my car 3 years ago. I put 30,000 miles on it, and it's worth 30% more than I bought it for. Yeah, used car prices are insane right now. They're through the roof. Same with housing. Should we wait to buy a house? I can't tell you that. I have no idea. I really don't. I listen. The supply of housing is so low that it's possible that the supply of housing is really low. There's not enough houses to go around. And people are locked in to these, like when you get a mortgage, when you take out a 30-year massive loan to buy a house, you can lock it in at wherever the interest rate is whenever you buy. And they've been really low. So if you bought a house last year, for example, you could have gotten like a 1 or 2% interest rate and locked that in for 30 years, which is amazing. And if you try to leave that house, if you sell that house and buy somewhere else, you're going to have to go to the new higher interest rates that are going to be. So people are going to be very reluctant to sell, is what I'm trying to say. If you're locked into low interest rates, you probably won't sell at all, which means our chance of getting more supply of housing is even worse. Which means, and if there's low supply, that means there's high demand and prices can go up. So you could buy a house now and it could still keep going up. Or you could buy a house now and we raise interest rates. People stop bidding. There's no competing bids. Housing prices start to fall. People panic. They start to sell. Prices go low. People panic more. They start to sell more. Housing prices completely collapse. Your house is worth half of what you bought it. You're panicking. You're paying a ton of debt on a house that's worth not even what you paid for. Yeah. That could happen. I have no way to tell you what's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen either. I couldn't. I would be honest with you. Does job title equal risk of layoff? I don't I don't know. I don't think that's a major correlation. Depends more on how the business is doing. Are you buying or selling into the market right now? I can tell you, I sold a lot of a variety of different companies back in November when I was first hearing about inflation creeping up and that we'd have to raise interest rates. I sold a good amount in November. I still hold plenty of stock, but I did sell back in November, and it turned out to be pretty well timed. But I have no idea where it goes from here, and I don't know how long that the musical chairs will last. This is not financial advice, yeah. Should we be buying stock? It really depends on what you're buying. Certain stocks will probably perform well in an environment like this. Energy stocks probably going to do pretty well. But again, I don't want to like give you specific ticker names because I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. The world, it's literally an unprecedented world we're in right now. It's one of the biggest, craziest, most inflated bubbles of all time. We have a government that has no right answer to solve it in a very polarized country. There's no one who tells you they know exactly what's going to happen is telling the truth. There's just no way to know how it's going to play out. Is any country other than China suppressing the U.S. economy? India is growing really fast, but no. China's the only one that's like about to pass us in GDP. And they have their own problems significantly that are starting to come to a head. But I do think they are, they're probably the best positioned for the next 10 years. With inflation, don't you want your assets in something other than cash? Yes. So that's the catch-22, right? Okay, listen. If things keep inflating, you want all your money in like stocks and like housing, because the price of the house and the price of the stock will go up as the money value goes down. It'll keep pace with inflation. But if they try to stop inflation and raise interest rates, both of those things will tank. They'll tank dramatically. And so the market can't decide what's going to happen. They don't know. That's why there's like a lot of seesaw effects right now in the market. And so, yeah, we don't know how it's going to play out. So NFTs are the future? Yes, 100%. Anyway, I think I talked about this enough. I don't want to listen. I think I've said what I need to say, right? Unless there's more questions, I can answer them. But I did want to play a little Inscription. I didn't want to bum everybody out. I think it's interesting. I just want people to know what's going on in the world a little bit, because I think this is like super relevant, and it's more important than like everything that gets discussed. This is like really what's going to cause changes in countries over the next few years, and changes in people who are in power, and changes in all that. And I think people talk a lot about like fucking Russia. They talk about random social issues, and it's like those things they could be important, but they're probably not the impact of what's happening with the economy. Is this considered a marketing service? I guess. I was wearing a nice shirt, so I figured I'd talk about marketing. That's honestly the plan. I was like, wait, I still have this shirt on from work. I might as well talk about something that's more serious. Because I'm not wearing a fucking Hitman hoodie. It won't make sense in a Hitman hoodie. No one's going to trust me. Oh, Facebook. Let's talk about Facebook, actually. Fuck it. I'm on a roll. Let's talk about Facebook. Listen, I did a little talk recently about Facebook having the largest one-day stock drop in history. And I explained that it was happening for a couple reasons. One of the big ones being that Apple was no longer allowing Facebook to track its users by default on the platform. All right. Now, this is really funny. There's a good picture. I don't want. Yeah, here it is. Google is doing the exact same thing. New York Post, not a great website, but I just found the first image. Google's kicking Meta while it's down. Google is doing the exact same thing that Apple just did, and they're going to switch from opt-in to opt-out, or opt-out to opt-in, and make it so you can't automatically track Android users that use Facebook. And that means it's even harder for Zuckerberg to make a ton of money from advertisers. So that's a 1-2 punch. So the first drop that Meta hit, that Facebook or Meta hit, might even be small in comparison to what could happen with the second drop. They're down 33% over the last month. A third of the company, $300 billion of value. That is bigger than fucking that's like 3 McDonald's. That's like McDonald's, Boeing, and fucking Disney combined. That's how much value they lost in a month. At the same time, Mark Zuckerberg is doing a desperate pivot to VR. And the reason they're doing VR is because they want to be the phone maker. Mark Zuckerberg has openly written that, like, right now, he knew about this ahead of time. He wrote about this years ago. He wrote that basically Facebook is at the mercy of 2 companies, Apple and Google, because they own the rails. They own the phones that all the social media is delivered on. And so they have to be sort of bending to their will. And so Zuckerberg was like, what's the future? Oh, VR. If we make the phone of the future, which is the Meta Quest, where everyone uses that to experience the world, then we can be the big dog. The problem is he's way too fucking early, if at all. It's not widespread adoption. It's not phone ready. And so it's a desperate pivot to try and save the company. And what I wanted to look at, let me see if I have this thread, is basically the last days of MySpace. Give it 10 years. Wall Street won't. Their stock's going to collapse by then. So let's see right here. This is what I want. Let me show you. Bro, wait. Give me 1 second. It was really, really good, and I want to make sure I show you the exact thing I was talking about. Oh, here it is. This should be it, right? Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, take a list. This is a blog post called "No One Cares About Your Redesign," and it basically is about the last days of MySpace. Okay, and basically what happens was right when Facebook passed MySpace in 2007. They started to do things like a massive rebrand. Let's see. What did they do? Yeah. It attempted a merger with Yahoo. It got a bunch of new leadership. And it launched a redesign that nobody cared about or actively hated. They changed their logo. They had a new tagline. And all of this stuff is exactly what we're starting to see as TikTok begins to pass everything that Facebook does. And their core business begins to falter. And the thing is, let me show you how this works. All right, I need an image of normal people. And then I need an image of people that don't take normal pills. Here, this is I need like a group of people. Here, about stock photo people. Perfect. This is it right here. Okay, look. Here we go. We got a bunch of fun friends and family. Stock photo, having a good time. Okay? So the value of a social network increases with every new user they add. What I'm saying is if I use Facebook and it's worth in my mind, let's see just how much value. Like, this is not, you don't pay it, but let's say it's worth $50. If my friend joins, now it's worth 55. You know what I'm saying? You get more value from the use the more your connections join it, which allows a social network to grow really fast, and it creates like kind of a moat. So if I were to start a new social network, even if I had better features, it doesn't matter because, like, let's say this is like, look at this, like this, and like this. Let's say that black is the value of your features. So this is Facebook on the left. This is a really bad graph, but bear with me. This is Facebook on the left, and they have, average whatever features, but they have so many users that it makes it more valuable. And then I launch my own social network and then I have better features, but I don't have any users. So this is worth way more. And if I'm a random user, I'm going to go to Facebook and not this one because this is better, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Basically, that every new user makes it more valuable. The problem is close this out, is really good when you're growing. This is a very beneficial thing when you are a company that's growing, but it also means that you can unwind just as quickly. Now, Facebook has done a lot of things to make it hard to leave Facebook. When everyone started to leave Facebook for Instagram, they just bought Instagram. When they started to use WhatsApp for messaging instead of Facebook Messenger, they bought WhatsApp. Okay? They have tried to make it so it's very inconvenient. Even me, I fucking hate Facebook, to be honest. I think they're a bad company. I don't want to use them. I still use Messenger to talk to my parents and certain Google, Facebook events. It's just because there's no way to get out of these features, right? They own WhatsApp. That's correct. And so that's the way they've sort of been able to avoid the unwinding. But eventually, every time a new user leaves, let's say she leaves and she just is not using Facebook. And you know what? She's probably not even using Instagram. She's all on TikTok. Layer by a cut. I just chopped her head off. Well, now each one of these people in the group, it's slightly less valuable to use Facebook. But they're fine. They're fine. It's whatever. Then this guy leaves. Okay? Okay. Okay, every time these people leave, this blue bar starts to go down. And the company becomes less and less valuable to each new user. And the blue bar on, let's say, a competitor like TikTok starts to go up because they went there. And all of a sudden, the choice becomes easier and easier to leave. That's the thing. Like, if my parents tomorrow quit Facebook, I would have basically no reason to ever use it again. There's a few friends that I could contact through it, but in general, I use Messenger because my parents use it. And so, this is true for everybody. Everyone has their own unique people in their life, but once it starts to cascade, the choice becomes easier and easier to leave. It starts to snowball. And so now, this has been building up behind the scenes for a while, and Facebook is masking it. But the fact is, there's an entire generation of people, Gen Z and younger, who don't use it at all. And so the number of people that are left on the website that are like weird or creepy or old or lame is becoming a higher and higher percent. And it used to be that you could log on to a place like Facebook or Instagram, and it would be like 99% people you want to see and 1% weirdos or cranks or scams or whatever. Every day that people that you want to see leave, that ratio gets worse and worse. The site becomes more and more lame. And they are truly in the middle of that massive change, and it's causing a drastic unwind. So Facebook had its first quarter ever where it lost users in the US. Ratio? Yeah, the ratio. Dating apps. That's how dating apps die. So the Facebook moms become TikTok moms? Maybe. Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, it's very likely that if Facebook moms log on to Facebook and no longer find enough of their friends or good content, and they find mostly just angry people, cranks, psychos, whatever, then they're going to flee. They're going to flee in droves. This is what already happened from Facebook to Instagram. When teachers and parents started joining Facebook in 2012, 2011, the first wave of young people that love Facebook, millennials essentially, started abandoning it in droves for Instagram. There was an exodus of younger people in 2012 from Facebook to Instagram. And then now it's starting to happen on all of Facebook's platforms, and they're having a real disaster. And at the same time, instead of fixing these problems and trying to save this, they've made a desperate pivot to the metaverse, which is just not hitting. That's happened with Twitter with me? Yeah, it happens on every social media. It's the unwinding of social media. I remember one of my friends saying my mom just sent me a friend request in middle school, and that stuck with me. Yeah. Yeah. Once the ratio started to get bad for people, they start to not enjoy the social network as much and starts to die. So anyway, all of this is hitting at once, is what I'm trying to say. All of this, Google banning ad tracking, Apple banning ad tracking, Facebook demographics getting worse and worse and worse. Metaverse pivot not happening. All this is happening at once to turn a company that was one of the most valuable in the world to drastically less valuable very quickly. And so I would be very wary about buying the dip on Facebook. I think they're hitting like a bunch of different perfect storms at once. New EU rules? Yeah, exactly. No one wants to work there? Yep. Yep. Well, I mean, some people do, but it's got bad PR. And they have to pay more than average to get talent, which is like bad cost-wise. Do you think Instagram will survive? Survive, of course. I mean, MySpace still exists, right? It's a website you can go to. But what I'm saying is like, social networks don't decline slowly. They decline very, very quickly. So if things start to turn, like Instagram is still fine right now. Facebook is basically dying. If people decide that it's not cool or not fun to be on Instagram, or they log on and they're just not getting the amount of enjoyment they used to, which is already happening. People are getting way more enjoyment from TikTok than Instagram. They show up less and less quickly. And then when they start showing up less, their friends don't see their stuff as much. So they leave. People leave the second their friends start to leave. It's a very fast snowball effect. Do you think if Mark leaves, the stock will rise? Well, the thing about Mark is that normally the shareholders can vote out a CEO or make them do things differently. The chairman of the board or like the board of directors can have some power over the CEO. Mark Zuckerberg, when he created Facebook, created a different class of shares that only he owns that have 20x voting rights. So every one share he owns is worth 20. He has 20 times the voting power, and he basically has complete dictator level control over Facebook. There is nobody that can challenge his authority in Facebook. Is that allowed? Yeah, it's legal. Usually investors won't allow it, but he was the fucking wonder kid at the time. And so when he went public, he just demanded that, and they gave it to him because it's like Zuckerberg is a genius. Facebook is never going to be bad. It's growing like crazy. And so he has infinite control. Basically, nobody can challenge Zuckerberg. Nobody can overrule him. Even if everyone else votes together, I think he has over half the company, even though he has fewer shares than them. So that's why he's never been forced to leave or had to change anything. We've talked about the downfall of the economy and Facebook. We haven't got to the huge problem that everyone's depressed. I'm not sure that everyone's depressed. I think it's kind of trendy for everyone to say they're depressed, but certainly not clinically depressed, everybody. That's a boomer take. No, I don't think that the majority of people have clinical depression. I think people are anxious. I think they're nervous about the future, understandably. Tell that to my face and it's Sag. Higher than normal? Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, listen, I agree with that on some level. But I don't know that that's I think people just have reasons to be anxious or nervous. And those are real problems, but I don't think it's like a widespread clinical depression. I don't think that's easy to be happy when you have beautiful glizzy hands. That's why that's why I'm happy, because I have beautiful glizzy hands. We aren't so lucky. I don't think Silicon Valley work from home is accurate. Yeah, yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. I'm not saying that I'm living the median. But I just think, I guess it's more of my, I don't like the doomer attitude. I understand it. I just find it to be not helpful. And I understand that sometimes it feels like, just fuck it. But I don't think it's, I don't think it's helpful. And I even for the people doing it, I think it's a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's sort of that's where I'm at. But I don't like, but again, I don't think I'm being toxically positive. I think I prefer just like a kind of a, optimistic realism is sort of where I'm at, and that's what I try to go towards. I did not say shindigs. That's disingenuous. I did not say depression isn't real. I said I don't think the majority of people are clinically depressed. Anyway, sorry, bro, just chatting. I don't know. Listen, I just find, I think it's a cop out. That's what I'm saying. I think people in general, when they go full doomer, it just feels like a cop out. But I can totally understand why it would seem like an appealing option. I think the system is so oppressive now that people need to understand their feelings right now. Listen, I understand it 100%. I understand it. And you know what? The truth of the matter is that people don't have very much control over the way this fucking massive ship is going. And so that can be just very, very frustrating. That can be very frustrating. People don't have a lot. Our votes don't mean much. And there are larger forces than any one person that are hard to understand. So it's just easy to get. I'm not still much. I'm interested in the discussion. I just in general don't. I don't know. I find it to be. I guess what I don't like about it is that people almost kind of seem to enjoy it. I don't know. Like they like that being the out. They like just saying, yeah, everything's fucked. It's over. Nothing's gonna. It's like, okay. it's comforting. It's comforting to wallow. And I don't find that to be a great. It's romanticized. Yeah, it's like romanticized. Listen, I'm working through this live. I'm talking through this live, so bear with me if I, I'm not 100% saying whatever I should. I'm just, that's where I'm at. I don't like us romanticizing the thought that everything is bad and nothing will ever get better, and that's like the best solution. But I can fully understand where the seed of that thought can come from. Yeah, it's like addicting. It's like an addicting level of misery. This part isn't in the YouTube video. No, I don't think we're making a YouTube video about any of this. Maybe we will, but Zoomers were dealt the shit hand. Yeah. In general, yeah. Everyone but Boomers was not dealt in a great hand, to be quite honest. Boomers were dealt a fucking phenomenal hand. Boomers were dealt one of the history's greatest hands of all time. And everyone else is sort of paying for it. Boomers had pocket aces and we have 7-2. Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough to play that hand. It's not impossible, though, is I guess what I'm trying to say. It's not impossible. They got dealt a better hand, but it's it would be unfortunate to give up. And I generally admire people that have, positive attitudes and are thinking of solutions. Yeah, but we had iPads growing up. Yeah, you did. You guys had Fruit Ninja, and they can't take it away from you. Boomers will never know the joy of playing Nintendo DS, Wii Sports, and Fruit Ninja. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe they have all the money, and they have all the real estate, and they have the 401ks, but come on. Would you trade it? The Bloomers blown the fuck out. No, yeah, with issues like climate, how do you not become full doomer? I am optimistic about climate. I'm optimistic. I don't think it's 100% everyone's dead, oceans are boiling, societal collapse. I thought you were a realist. I don't know. Listen, I'm not gonna get too into it. Climate scares the fuck out of me. It's not good. It's not good. I just don't think it's unsolvable. I'll take Jetpack Joyride over biplanes. How am I supposed to fix climate change? Wait, there's so much chat. This is one of the most active chat, but like paragraph chats. It's weird to have a 4,000 person chat and everyone's typing like serious stuff. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen this. Usually it's like fucking, if everyone's chatting, it's usually fucking, stupid. Or if they're serious, it's smaller. I've never been in this situation. It's tough to, what do you think of the tech bubble in the Bay Area? I think tech bubble is more of a broader thing than just the Bay Area. I think tech stocks are in general overvalued. Listen, about climate, I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it. I think we're in a very bad spot and we're having a hard time making tough solutions. I do think that history has shown that people can actually move a lot quicker than you think once economic incentives align. And so we're already, slowly seeing that with things like electric vehicles and things like that. And adoption of those is going to be incredibly quick. And evolution in their tech is going to be incredibly quick. Humans are very adaptable. And I think once it becomes profitable to do things like different energy sources and desalinate, whatever, anything like that, it's all going to be. I think there's going to be very, very quick innovations and adoption. I think people are going to be moving quicker than you think. What if it doesn't become profitable? Well, I think the negative externalities of the current system will make the other one, the change system, profitable. I know the Inscription gang is here. I know. I've been talking too long. I should play Inscription. I just, it's tough to transition. Carbon taxes can help. Yeah. It's similar to healthcare. Humans are bad at doing anything preventative. Yes, they are 100%. Humans are very bad about planning for the future. But I have seen, they can be very resilient and adaptable when the situation calls for it. Basically, one of my main guiding philosophies in life is that people are very, very focused on, or people live their life according to incentives. If you want to find out why people behave in certain ways, look at the incentives. And right now, there is no incentive to do the right thing on climate because all of the bad stuff that happens is not happening to people doing it. There is no incentive to do the right thing. It costs money. There's no profit in it. There's no benefit to it for people that do it. And if the governments try to do it, it's basically giving the benefit to the future and not now. But once the incentives change, people can move very quickly. And by the way, what I'm talking about is probably going to be after negative impacts have already happened. So I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be an end. What if it takes too long? I think it takes too long is an interesting thing because the early stage impacts of climate change will be felt in the developing world more than where we all live watching Twitch. And I think we will take too long for that. I think there's going to be that. I mean, that's one of the biggest disasters of it. I just don't think that it's going to be civilization ending. People talk about climate change like it's going to be like the meteor and don't look up. I think that's unlikely. There's definitely going to be negative effects. I don't want to sugarcoat that. Will you stream it? What exactly am I streaming there? I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna sit on the beach and just watch the tide rise. And I'm gonna mark the slow rising sea levels. I'm gonna do a live stream from a glacier that's melting in Antarctica. Should be pretty hype. Subathon until the rapture. 24/7 polar bear dying stream. That's just sad. Atrioc socialism arc. I mean, already democratic socialism is what I generally propose, but I think I think late stage is the perfect word, because I think in early stages of capitalism where there's actual competition, it's like the best economic system. It works really, really well. It can pull a lot of people out of poverty. It creates rapid improvements. The problem is when a few big moneyed interests gain control over the rules. And then they sort of stifle all innovation and growth and sort of become rent-seeking oligarchs. We need a server reset. Yeah. That's the problem. The problem is that our government has sort of been captured by money. And so we can't make correct rules. It's not a fair competition. It's like when my mods start banning me for my hilarious jokes. Is it? Is it like that? Is that 100%? Are we 100% accurate on that? Is late stage capitalism like when your mods start banning you for telling hilarious jokes? I'm not. Everyone's saying yep. I'm just not 100%. It's a direct one-to-one perfect analogy. That's the exact same thing. Okay. All right. You guys are. All right. Okay. Remember when Bernie sat in the chair, lol W. Those were the days. Can we go back to the funny Bernie Sanders memes? God damn, those were good times. That's a classic. Take me back to the mittens. Dude, Bernie Sanders mittens, please. We watched that ExxonMobil video. It was basically an Exxon executive admitting undercover that like they just pay politicians to delay and stop the carbon tax. Yeah, and then no one got punished for it. Yeah, we watched that great video. It was a guy that basically pretended to be an oil company and approached an Exxon executive to hire him. They were going to offer him a job, and they were like, can you help us with lobbying? And he's like, oh yeah, I've got all these politicians in my back pocket. I can call this guy. This is how we do it. But they recorded the whole thing. He admitted all that on camera, and then nothing happened. What was the video called? I'm sorry, I don't remember, but you could find it, I think. We should watch the Chinese edit of Fight Club. You guys know about that? You guys know the Chinese Fight Club edit where, if you haven't seen Fight Club, it basically ends with the whole, like a massive terrorist attack. You know, the Fight Club guys, Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, they blow up a bunch of buildings and reset the global credit. They basically blow up all the banks and reset all the debt. And in China, it ends with, it just fades to a black screen and it says, through the clue provided by Tyler, the police rapidly figured out the whole plan and arrested all the criminals, successfully preventing the bomb from exploding. After the trial, Tyler was sent to a lunatic asylum, receiving psychological treatment. He was discharged from the hospital in 2012. All over text. It just fades to black and just says, like, everything was solved. We caught him, and he got healed. Easy clap. That's so funny. China's so wild, dude. I can't get me started on China. I'm just it's unfortunate that they are so powerful. A-Dog, you're dressed like you're about to go taste wine on the town. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great work with how I'm dressing? Don't call me A-Dog. Don't tell me to keep up the good work. And no, I'm not going on the town to drink wine. It's wrong on all levels. But thank you. Thank you for complimenting the shirt. I wore this because, again, like I said, I had an important call today, and I wear this shirt when I want to look like I'm with the sleeves rolled up, when I want to look like I'm professional, but not taking so serious, not like overdressed. It's a very calculated and just wear a tux. That would be so fire to do one of these calls in a tux. Oh, you know what? One day, maybe. Here's the deal. I probably won't do Inscription today. Straight up. I'm kind of just enjoying chatting. We could watch something. I'm down to react to something, but I think I'm not going to be able to fit in the Inscription. I just don't feel like I'm in the mood to jump into saying goofy shit about. I'm also dead honest with you. I'm a little trepidatious about Inscription. I hope it. I just feel like the way I ended the last session kind of put me off on the game. And I know that I probably will like it, but I just kind of got like, I feel like I got rug pulled. I feel like they told me to invest in like Creepy Coin, and I bought a bunch of Creepy Coin. I was like, I love Creepy Coin. I love how creepy and atmospheric this game is. And then it's like, no, you're playing a 2D top-down cutesy game. And I really wanted Creepy Coin. I loved Creepy Coin. But everyone says trust, so I'll give it a shot. Trust, Bo, trust. I just finished the game if you want to know anything. Well, I don't want spoilers, but I mean, if you're telling me to trust, then I'll trust. It's all good. Hodl Diamond Hands. Okay, I will. If you guys want me to hodl, I'll hodl. Fall Guys is still open? Shut the fuck up. Who dat? I'm not playing. Bro, why would we play old-ass Fall Guys no new update? They're going to release like fucking the Ghostly Glizzy Round 2 or something. We'll play that. We're not going to early do it. We'll wait. We always get Fall Guys once every 4 or 5 months when they release something. Or they'll bring back Twitch Rivals and I'll be able to grind so I can win some money. There's a new Channel 5 video? Uh-oh. Let's see. Chet Hanks meets the Hoff twins? Is this good? Here, I want to check out LSF real quick, actually. And then I'll check this out. Maybe there's nothing. Actually, I saw like hot tub stuff. A good old-fashioned Northern Lion clip. Let's see what this is.
I'm trying not to be rude, but the dark passenger inside of me wants to say something. I'm not saying this, but it wants to say something like the only people who think Pancakes even come close to Waffles think it's exotic to travel to the capital city of the state where their hometown is. That's what the dark passenger inside of me wants to say. Now, I'm not saying it.
Harsh. Harsh, dude. Wait, did he say... I'm sorry, to be clear. He's saying that Pancakes are significantly worse than Waffles? Or Waffles are worse than Pancakes? I actually didn't... One more time. One more time.
I'm trying not to be rude, but the dark passenger inside of me wants to say something. I'm not saying this, but it wants to say something like the only people who think pancakes even come close to waffles.
Oh, he's saying waffles are way better. Interesting. Maybe I'm provincial. Maybe I'm just a hick. I like pancakes. I like pancakes a lot, bro. I think waffles are good. I'd say they're about even. And it really depends on the quality. Bro, I think pancakes with a little bit of fruit, like a blueberry pancake, my God. Oh. Oh. Blueberry pancakes rule, dude. Bad take. Pull it? Okay, I'll pull it. I'm interested. I'm interested. Pancakes versus waffles. I just didn't think it was so clear cut. Ultimate showdown. Pancakes, waffles. 1 for pancakes, 2 for waffles. It's already closer than Northern Lion and his ivory tower would have you believe. Okay? Maybe pancakes are the people's food. All I know is Ari makes me pancakes sometimes, and I fucking love it. And I don't think I'd prefer waffles in this situation. In fact, what is the... Don't you make it with like basically the same fucking batter? They're not that different, bro. It's like a different fucking shape. They're fluffier. Pancakes are fluffier. Waffles aren't fluffier. I don't like I want a waffle that's kind of got some crunch to it. They're more aristocratic. Bro, you're not going to Waffle House for the fucking meeting with the queen. Waffle is not a fancy fucking food. People are being crazy. There's no fucking difference. Actually, I'm going to fucking say it to fucking Northern Lion's face. There is no difference in the fucking class of society you're in and whether you like waffles or... I'm getting called by someone. If it's physics, I'm going to fucking snap. Physics, if it's you, I'm going to fucking snap, dude. You got to stop calling me. It's Hoodat. I'm also going to snap, but Hoodat, what's up?
You are a fucking disgrace to the world. Waffles are infinitely better.
All right. Hey, Hoodat had to go. Hoodat said he had to go. He said he had to go. That's crazy that he was just about to get out on a roll there and he had to fucking dip. That's crazy. It's insane. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? When a man's got to go, he's got to go. Waffles being infinitely better is fucking crazy. Crazy talk. I'm going to ask Ari. Ari's the chef of the family. Hey, babe. Babe. Can I ask you a question about food? What do you think about pancakes versus waffles?
I prefer pancakes. I hate waffles, actually.
Come here.
Okay.
Ride or die, babe.
Yeah.
Ride or die, babe. I'm with you.
Cannot be pancakes.
I'm with you. Let's go, queen.
Come on, you.
You know what's funny, though? This is how the internet works. Once you take a side in a debate, your mind immediately begins to dig in on that side and become more and more entrenched. When I started this conversation, I was like, yeah, I think they're about even. And now I'm on team fucking pancake celebrating. You know what I'm saying? It's like 30 seconds later. And now we're having fucking wars in the... We're having fucking wars in the chat, and it's like, they're not that different. My main point is that, like, if someone was like, I like pancakes versus I like waffles, I wouldn't think they were more or less classy. I think Northern Lion is talking like a fucking waffle lover is drinking tea with their fucking pinky out, and the pancake guy is eating fucking slop and fucking getting in the the fucking pickup truck to go. You know, it's like, what are you talking about? There's no difference. If anything, waffles are less classy. I've had fancy pancakes. I think you guys haven't had good pancakes if you don't like pancakes. I think there's plenty of team pancakes people here. Clearly, it's basically half the chat. But if I had to say, I think pancakes are pretty good. I wouldn't turn down a waffle, but You've never had fancy waffles? I've had fancy waffles. I enjoyed them. Call Northern Lion. If I had his number, I actually would call him right now. I could call Stans, which is like my Northern Lion at home. I'll call Stans. Let's see what he says. I'm going to get Donald Wald so hard. He's offline. He answered. A true friend. Yo, I got an important question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
This is serious. So are you sitting down?
Oh, sorry. The Bluetooth hooked to the car. What's up?
Okay, but are you in a place for a real rational discussion?
Are you are you streaming or are you not?
Yeah.
Would it matter? Because I'm asking for a friend's advice, so it doesn't whether or not.
Oh yeah, hit me with it. I'm gonna let you know that about 45 seconds into your question, I'm gonna order at Del Taco.
We're in the drive-through.
Okay.
So if
hypothetical. Wait, hypothetical. Let's say Del Taco wasn't a taco place that was dog shit compared to Taco Bell. I don't know why you're going to it. Let's say it was a breakfast food place, and you were gonna order one of two options: pancakes or waffles.
Yeah.
What are you buying?
Oh, I mean, it depends on fucking the time of day, the weather, everything. You can't hold a man down like that.
You know what? I actually like your headset. So what you're saying is that there's not one that's superior to the other, but rather it's a function of where you're at in your day and in your life and all of that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me hit you with a hypothesis, and I want to tell me if you think it's true or false. Do you think that someone who eats pancakes or someone that eats waffles is more or less classier than the other? Like if I were to tell you this guy eats pancakes and this guy eats waffles, would you be able to tell me that one of them is more classy than the other one?
Yes, and there's a very simple reason why.
Tell me why.
If you were a fancy person eating a pancake, you'd just call it a crepe. I don't know why you're laughing. A waffle is a waffle no matter how you cook it. But if you're rich, Gordon Ramsay doesn't make pancakes. He makes crepes.
Gordon Ramsay makes pancakes for sure, though, right?
No. Oh, my God, dude. He would fucking cut your head off for suggesting it. He makes crepes.
Atrioc, we're literally behind a guy on a scooter, like smoking a blunt in the Del Taco drive.
Sorry, I can't hear you over Gordon Ramsay's top 3 pancake recipes on YouTube. I can't quite hear you over this video. I'm not going to make fucking friends and family this sandwich. If I make this, I'm eating it like a fucking hog over the sink. It would be funny to learn how to cook. I'm terrible. I really don't. Ari's a great chef. I don't know, but it could be a fun stream. Maybe Cutie should teach me how to cook on stream. I'd like to cook something. I really have no good recipes that I know that I can make. And I think it's a good thing about, I think it's like a good, almost, I don't know. Is this gender, like a manly thing? I think it's like a good masculine thing to be able to have a couple recipes in your belt that you can make really well. I don't know. I need to learn. I would love to learn, but I don't. I haven't learned. I eat Factor and I order. Learn some kind of pasta? That's not a bad idea. Give me a call. I'll teach you. Really? I mean, I can make a smoothie like nobody's business, but... Can confirm having your own recipes let you customize to the moon. Yeah, I think if I just had a couple. I'm not trying to be a chef, obviously. It's not my wheelhouse. But if I had like 1 or 2 recipes that I could make at a moment's notice, let's say we have people coming over and I need to cook, whatever, for whatever reason, and I can make it and be proud of it, I think that'd be a sick skill to have. I think that'd be I think I'd be proud to have that knowledge. And I don't have it right now. Who needs to cook when you can get meals from Factor? Yeah, but I don't think if I had people over to my apartment or house that I could offer them all Factor meals. I mean, unless, of course, they wanted great tasting food at a affordable price. But it might, I mean, you know what would be weird about it is that everyone have something different. And I don't think that's a good sign for a dinner when I'll take the ancho salmon, which is my favorite, and then I have to give them something else. That just doesn't seem fair. Fucking loser can't cook. All right, well, I'm trying to open up here and say it's a skill I'd like to learn. You know, that's not, yes, that's correct. I can't cook. Maybe you could have a more nuanced approach to my discussion. I am trying to learn. Let's watch one more of these because I don't know why I'm doing it. It's just making me hungry as fuck, but how about what's a great Gordon Ramsay recipe? His scrambled eggs, maybe? Let's look. Let's sort by most popular, actually. How about Gordon Ramsay's homemade chocolate donuts? Like Zoomer insult Mad Libs to try and fucking roast Gordon. That's crazy.
Nice. That one's got...
You knew it though? You are not too far off, King. I mean, it just needs to be blonde. If you just change the hair color, you are not too far off.
Got my name on it. Oh, that is amazing.
Same shirt. It is. It is the same shirt.
Add the curry paste.
Damn, that was fucking good looking donut. Okay. Gordon Ramsay's ultimate grilled cheese. Apparently everyone hates this. Oh, is this a meme? Interesting. Is it terrible? Damn, there's a Hassan fucking clip called Gordon Ramsay's horrible grilled cheese, aka burned cheese sandwich. And then the fucking thumbnail is actual idiot sandwich. And well, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch good food. Gordon Ramsay's terrible grilled cheese sandwich. Interesting. Gordon Ramsay is the real idiot sandwich. Damn, he got fucking... Can Gordon Ramsay even cook? Let me just...
Pain to make it in a way that it becomes...
Well, I already don't like that choice of cheese. He's making it... Because I got one of these in my apartment. I'm going to whip these up right here in my fucking fire. I'll start from here.
Turn that over. Push that down. That way it gets nice and crispy. Beautiful. 2 minutes each side. And then once you've coloured both sides, back out and just place your spatula on top and push down. And that helps to get the cheese nicely melted.
That is satisfying.
That is incredible.
I mean, that sounds satisfying.
The kimchi with that incredible cheese, especially with that pepperberry.
Wait, did he put kimchi in it? Is that what he said? Why the fuck is kimchi in a grilled cheese? Wait, go back. I have to...
The way that it becomes somewhat almost fitted to the bread. And the secret behind this grilled cheese is a little bit of kimchi.
Ah!
Homemade kimchi.
Bro, I like kimchi, but what the fuck are you doing putting it on a grilled cheese? That's gonna fuck up the flavor. Don't put cheese with kimchi in general. You know, Koreans don't even eat cheese on anything.
It's gonna give a nice spicy texture to that incredible cheese. Now, the acidity in this kimchi is incredible.
This is why God has struck the economy.
But once it's been cooked, breathtaking. Fold that over, and then from
Koreans don't use cheese all the time. What the fuck are you talking about? I lived in Korea. There's barely any cheese. Cheese is very fucking underused.
there, push that down. We're gonna stick that in the oven. Look,
It's a new trend. Maybe it's a new trend. Maybe it's popping now. But not in 2009, 10.
Beautiful. And then from there, get the temperature up. Just lightly. Starting to smoke. Rest on the side. Push that down.
No, it wasn't pre-war. It was not that long ago. Actually, it was 2012. It's not even that long ago.
Down. That way it gets nice and crispy. Beautiful. 2 minutes each side. And then once you've coloured both sides, back out. And just place your spatula on top and push down.
Like, the only thing I saw was maybe cheese corn.
Cheese nicely melted. That is incredible. The kimchi with that incredible cheese, especially with that pepperberry, is just gonna be a wonderful combination. And also, it just helps elevate the flavor of that beautiful grilled cheese. Take that out.
Does the cheese not melt? Oh, the cheese is not melting at all.
It's cracking away.
Bro, that cheese is still solid.
Beautiful. The cheese is melted.
No, it hasn't.
And this, yeah, how crispy that is.
Yeah, the bread's crispy as fuck, but the cheese is not melted.
Oh my goodness.
That's a fucking solid block of cheese. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. I'm being dead honest. That doesn't look good at all. He does kind of look like Hellboy. I don't know why his face is so red, but yeah.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
It is kind of funny to cook something that no one else can taste. Taste it yourself and say, that's incredible.
That pepperberry, spicy, the acidity of that kimchi and that bread cooked in the open fire. Wow.
Man, I'm hungry.
So
I'd
good.
still eat it.
It almost makes me feel like I want to move to Tasmania.
Yeah, man, it's so good you want to move. That's what I say. When I eat a good fucking restaurant, I always say I want to move out of here. Yeah, it looks like just toasted bread, kimchi, and blocks of cheese. And I was not impressed. That's not what I think of when I think of grilled cheese at all. Let's watch Korean recipes. Let's look at some delicious Korean street food. Love food, dude. How about... What'd you think of Korean pizza? My girlfriend said it was an affront to God. Do you mean like the pizza kind of pancake thing they make with seafood in it? Or do you mean like that's kind of colloquially called Korean pizza? Or do you mean like actual pizza? Because their actual pizza was terrible because the cheese was so bad. Like if you go to like a Pizza Hut or whatever equivalent is in Korea, the cheese was bad. The pancake was good. Kanye announced Donda 2. That'll bring his wife back. You better watch out, Pete Davidson. Donda 2. This time for sure. Their Domino's were actually ass. Yeah, they're Taco Bell and they're Domino's. I tried them both while I was drunk, and there's an absolute difference on it was the cheese. For sure. Maybe it's just different, but it tasted bad to me. I'm trying to look at like fucking delicious street food. Delicious street food. Damn, I love like kebabs. Turkish street food. Let's look at Mexican. Oh! Can confirm, I work at Taco Bell and have to teach new kids how to do crunch ups every day. They never learn and it makes me mad. Holy shit! Let's blow the lid on this operation. I'm going to do a 9-part YouTube series in interviewing you and investigating undercover at Taco Bell. I want to know, dude. I want to know the truth. I literally think something's happened to the crunch wrap we used to know and love. I might have to quit my job and go undercover as a Taco Bell employee. For weeks. Only 9. iDubbbz needs the content cop the crunch wrap. Yeah, I actually agree. Oh no, it's 11:21. Shit, I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow. Fuck. Speaking of work, I have to go to work tomorrow, and I have to get up bright and early to make my resume to get a job at Taco Bell. Chad, thanks for watching. Fun stream. I hope you enjoyed the discussion on inflation, or learned something, or had a good time. Either way. And I hope you're not too depressed about it, because, you know, it's just better to talk about these things. I think it makes you feel more like you're not adrift with no understanding, even if it is scary. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with a completely more degenerate shirt. I'll be wearing like a tank top or a Hitman shirt or something, and then we'll just fucking play goofy ass games. Don't worry about that. 7's for everyone to stick around. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'm gonna pass you on to Hitman's on Saturday. We'll do Hitman on Saturday. I'm gonna do a big old Hitman grind. I'm gonna pass you along to I haven't given a good old fashioned mango host in a while. Oh, EE. Is EE live? I said EE. I said already EE. We're rating EE. We're gonna rate EE. Please rate EE. Check him out. He's super fucking funny. And just a generally great guy. Check out EE. Consecrator, out here hustling. Friend of mine for a while, and just a really, really, really incredibly funny dude. One of the funniest dudes on Twitch. I think one day, just the right fucking clip's gonna hit, and he's gonna blow up. I actually think he's like incredibly funny. All right, have a good one. Peace.